Hey guys, Alicia from Morning Hawk Creations. It's time for another vlog update. Alright, so I have had a bit of a gap, more than I intended on, between the last installment and this one, but I'm getting better at it. So what's happened in the last couple of weeks, because it's been very busy, is that there was the SVA opening up in Sheboygan Visual Arts, and I had submitted 28 ornaments that I had worked very hard on, and I can happily say that half of that stock is already gone. So if you didn't pre-order your ornaments and you were looking for a dragon, I hate to say it, Brian, it's sold. And there will not be any more dragon ornaments ready until 2017, so they're all on back order. So that's some good news. Now if you follow me on Facebook, you will know that as of Friday, about 6:30, 7 o'clock, I went live from Facebook at the SVA to kind of supplement the fact that I hadn't had an ability to do my vlog updates, so that was kind of a supplemental, kind of this is what's going on. We did a walk around the gallery, we talked to a couple artists, and we looked at a bunch of artwork. So the gallery has extended its hours. It's open 7 days a week. Monday through Friday it's open 1 to 7. On Saturdays it's 11 to 3, and I think Sunday is like 11 to 5. You might want to double check those hours. It's SheboyganVisualArts.com, and they have their hours posted for the holiday season in the month of December. So feel free to check out some other local Sheboygan artists as well as my own work if you ever stop through the area. So some other stuff that's going on. Alright, so they opened the South Store, and I promised you guys some work on that elk. I did get work done on the elk. It wasn't great work because my phone kept exploding. And in the middle of a live session, if you were on Facebook, you know that I had to stop the session twice because the store kept interrupting. And I had to leave and run to the store and take care of things and then come back. By the time I got back, I was so angry I couldn't contain myself. I tried filming anyway because I really wanted to keep my obligations to you guys, and I wound up pretty well destroying the piece. So first rule of art is if you don't paint angry, don't start painting angry now, because it's not going to work for you. I was shaking and I was very frustrated. So I apologize for not getting the second installment on that elk tutorial out, but we will be getting back to it this weekend. So for Christmas, I'm giving you guys an eye tutorial. So we're still going to put the second installment of the elk tutorial in, but I'm also working on a long version of an eye tutorial. So there's just dozens and dozens and hundreds of different kinds of eyes out there, and that is probably the #1 question I get when people look at my 2D work is, oh god man, like those eyes are so real. It's like it's looking at me. How do you do it? And I would love to say that I just do this and this and that's it, but it takes a lot of research and knowing a lot of anatomy. And so the next big installment on the eyes, or the next big installment tutorial, is going to be on eyes. The watercolor tutorial is actually going to be a really quick one, probably 15 minutes, and I don't know that I'm going to do it as a live tutorial because I have another major announcement, and that is the fact that I opened up a Patreon account. So the really long, in-depth tutorials are now going to be moved on to the Patreon account. I haven't been soliciting any of my YouTube subscribers for any monetization. I really irritated with commercials, especially if I only want to watch a 5-minute video. I don't want to watch 5 minutes of commercials. So I don't want to put you guys through that, but it's time that I actually started treating this more like a business and less like a hobby. So, hi buddy. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you go away? Cody, go away! Cody, go lay down. Lay down. Okay, so in reference to the Patreon account, the way we're going to divide up the YouTube channel from the Patreon account is that we're going to keep the vlog on the YouTube station. So any quick updates on any shows that are coming up, or any small little funny stuff, or any live feeds that are not really meant to be instructive, are going to be on YouTube. And I may or may not be coming back with somebody who can help me get into some of this stuff without it being quite so boring. I haven't gotten this person to necessarily agree to it. However, she's really, really funny, and I think it would really lighten up the atmosphere that becomes very serious in this studio and becomes very, very boring. So that's going to be coming up at the end of December, so that's something else you get to look forward to on this station. For the Patreon station, we got 6 tiers for you. They range from $1 to $20 to support the videos, both on YouTube and on Patreon, and to upgrade equipment as it goes along. So I definitely need a computer upgrade, because the computer that I use to edit these videos is 6 years old. In order to edit a 4-hour video into a half-hour video, it takes 18 hours for that computer right there to process that much information. So in order for me to get stuff out in a timely manner for you guys, that's just not an effective method of which to do it anymore. So that's going to be where the first installment of money is, so that's why there is the different tiers that are set up. So the first tier is upgrading the computers. The second one is going to be upgrading camera equipment, because I really want to get into some macro photography and I cannot do that with my current camera. And also upgrading the sound for these cameras, because if it doesn't bother you, it probably will forever now. There's probably grinding going on, as I cannot get an external mic on this camera, and it continually tries to focus, and that is an actual motor in the camera, and there's nothing I can do about it. This camera does not have an external mic that I can hook up to it. I've tried. It's sad. So there's going to be a lot of camera upgrades, a lot of equipment upgrades. So that's why we need to get into monetizing what I'm giving you guys for content. So if you want to, hop over on Patreon. There's 6 different levels. We'll go over the levels real quick. The $1, you're going to have access to a private Facebook page where you can drop your artwork in if you're having problems with it. You can ask questions, get advice, get tips, some critiques on where you could improve on it. And you know, sometimes if you're cramming at 12 o'clock at night for a 6 o'clock in the morning project that you didn't do, yeah, you know what, I check on Facebook about 3-4 times a day, so you never know. I might be on there and I could probably give you some 30 seconds of advice, and it might just get you through your crisis. If not, it'll just get you through the next project. The $3 tier is access to the live feeds. So we're actually going to go from just random me popping on Facebook because I happen to have the night off, to actually having a schedule of events and what we're going to go over. I really found out that I really like doing the live feeds, because not only do I get instant feedback from you guys, but if you guys have questions, then you have that ability to ask me right away, and I can stop what I'm doing and get on whatever you guys need me to kind of focus on for a few minutes if you guys are having problems. At the $3 tier, you're also going to get 5 royalty-free pictures. So for the 80 gigs of photography that I've got on my computer, I'm never going to go through all of that, so you guys can have some of those pictures to use as you like, within reason. Yeah, let's not make it nasty. You're going to have a 14-day advance notice of any works from me that go up for sale. Which is not just meant for artists, that's meant for fans of my work as well. And I found that that would be something that my fans would probably appreciate, because I had a lot of people that pre-ordered ornaments for Christmas well before they hit the gallery at the SVA. So there is a guaranteed 14-day advance notice before anybody else knows in the public. Nobody on Fine Art America, nobody on Facebook, nobody at the SVA, nobody. Just you. You right there. Yeah, looking at you. You can find out when that dragon's going to get done. At the $5 tier, it's no longer the live videos, but we're now going to incorporate the 1-hour tutorials. So it's the breakdowns and the step-by-steps, the anatomy, those half-hour tutorials that I post here on Facebook are going to be extended with the voiceovers so that you guys can get the step-by-steps on them. You'll also get an additional 5 reference shots and some tips and ideas on elements that you can take out of those in order to use them in your own pieces, or how you can use them for more than just legitimately blank copying these pictures. Because what I want you guys to be able to do is learn how to take elements out of those pictures and incorporate them into your own original art. At the $10 tier, you got the monthly challenge. So I've seen a lot of artists do this. I don't know how this is going to work, but if you guys are really interested, but the monthly challenge is going to involve those 10 reference pictures that I gave you, pulling elements out of them, and then making your own artwork into them. You guys are also going to get thank you cards for all your support, because without support from you guys on Patreon, I'm not really going to be able to upgrade my equipment, because my job just pays for bills. There's really not any extra. So, and then you're also going to get some 5-minute tips and tricks and techniques with tools, design, elements of design, and all of that jazz. So we're going to get into those 5-minute tips and tricks. Now I will probably post them here too, but then I will probably post some on Patreon that will not get posted here. So, at the $15 level, this is the one that's going to get some people really, really giddy, and other people are just going to be completely lost. So you guys know I do pet and wildlife art, and what the SVA learned very, very quickly, because when I walked in with them, they were like, "Oh, you're the horse person," and I was like, "After today, you're going to know me as the dragon lady." I walked in with a Rocco, and if you have not seen pictures of Rocco, I'm going to post a picture of him here. And originally his mount was 20 feet long with an 18'5" wingspan. He is a big, big mount. He is taxidermy quality. When he was a full body mount on his base, which was 4 feet by 8 feet, he stood 5'3". He looked an adult in the face. I kid you not. He's a very, very impressive piece, and he really made a huge impression on the community of Sheboygan. I've had a lot of questions about him. I've had a lot of questions about other artwork that I've done that would relate to dragons and cryptozoology. So I'm going to bring out a little bit of cryptozoology, since it's really, originally I thought it wasn't that popular, and it's actually still pretty popular on the underground, because that's all I've talked about for 3 shows in a row is a Rocco and dragons and cryptozoology. So rather than just saying it's dragons, it's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be fantasy. So it's dragons, it's griffins, it's unicorns, it's Keelin, it's a lot of things. We could be here all night listing off all the things I could do that's 3D work, but the point of it is it's going to be 3D work. Okay? So we're going to do 1-hour tutorials where it gets real repetitive, like if I'm scaling something. We're just going to speed that up and do that as like a time lapse. If it's piece by piece, we're going to walk you through it. Materials are probably going to be mixed media, dimensions, size, weight, tips on dealing with materials. If I screw up and I have no idea what I'm doing, you're going to watch me do it. So it's going to be an adventure. So that's the $15 tier. For the $20 tier, you get access to all of the other tiers. So you get the access to the private Facebook page where you got my counseling, advice, tips, ideas, layouts, materials, whatever you need help with, I can counsel you guys on, and I'm on Facebook, like I said, 3-4 times a day. You're going to get the schedule for the live sessions and my ability to do demos live in those sessions if you need me to actually walk through something live with you because you're not understanding it on a tutorial. You're going to get 10 royalty-free pictures and elements of design and how to use those elements of design and the concepts, textures, and subjects in those pieces and how to use those in your own work. You're going to get the 14-day advance notice on anything that is up for sale before it hits the gallery, before it hits Facebook, before it hits Fine Art America, before it goes to a trade show. You're going to have that exclusive advanced knowledge. Use it wisely. You're also going to get the 4 tutorials a month for 4 hours of learning enjoyment. And the monthly challenge. And you're going to get the thank you cards. And you're going to get the 5-minute tips, tricks, and tools of design. And you're going to get the 3D cryptozoology. But wait, there's more. For the $20 tier, which is the top tier. We're getting out of the studio. We're going to go on the road. We're going to hit zoos. We're going to hit sanctuaries. We're going to hit the experts. We're going to hit the museums. We're going to hit the art galleries. We're going to go talk to artists. We're going to go wherever the road may take us. However, traveling is very, very expensive. Anybody who's got a YouTube station or anybody who does it for a living will tell you that firsthand. It is very time consuming and it is very exhausting. So before we actually get to doing a lot of pieces and footage and content that's over the road, I'm going to need a few things, and the $20 tier is really going to be needed to support that level of dedication. Mostly because I will have to cut my hours at work. They will have to learn to live without me. I don't think they can. No, I don't think they can. I will also need an assistant. Now that assistant, I may have Brink coming in at the end of December because she's very funny. In fact, funny thing about this second person that I want to bring in, we were talking about the potential of what she'd like to do, and she wanted to see some of my artwork, and she was taking a look at the pastels of the dogs that I have on FAA. She was so impressed and she was so happy with it that she picked the pastel paintings up and then kissed them, getting pastel all over her mouth. I just about died laughing. Because then she started doing that and her whole face was like all full of pastel. So I have a feeling that doing tutorials with her and doing little 5-minute bits with her is going to be hysterical, and it's really going to be something you guys are going to enjoy. And I can't wait to be able to take her on the road and take her places, just because things that I find so incredibly boring and reasons that I don't go to museums. It's not necessarily all museums, but it is art museums. She would really be an element that I'm really looking forward to in bringing on board. But I want to be able to monetarily compensate her for her time. She's got kids and she's got other commitments. So in order for me to bring her in, I gotta give her some kind of incentive. So I hope you guys are willing to go up on Patreon and subscribe. They're monthly subscriptions, unless I hear feedback from you guys about how you'd like to do it by installment. We're going to stick with that. I still am working on that eye tutorial and coming up with a dialogue for the eye tutorial. We still got the elk tutorial coming up this weekend, and I can't wait for a whole bunch of stuff to go on. And the new rule about when I'm off of work is the phone gets turned off. Catch you later.